Hi, my friend. Hope you're having a good week. Now, I hope you're also one of the 20 million people that got to watch history being made yesterday. Yesterday, the fastest man who's ever walked the earth once again won the gold medal in the Olympics in the 100-meter sprint. And that's an amazing accomplishment. Being the fastest man in the world's an amazing accomplishment. But for me, really watching Usain Bolt and watching his story, there's so many lessons between here and between here that we can learn. So how does one not just become the fastest man in the world, but consistently perform in big keynote events to show up? So many of us have keynote events and important things in our lives, and are we underperforming? Are we showing up to be our absolute best? There's so many big ideas from watching what took place yesterday, and I'm going to share some of those big ideas with you. First, let me say, Usain Bolt was actually not even 100% when he won the 100-meter final yesterday. Leading up to the Olympics, in the qualifying for his home country in Jamaica, he'd actually backed off his best performance and actually finished second, which would still give him a qualifying spot and be able to serve his country at the Olympics, yet didn't push the envelope because he knew he wasn't 100%. Rumors has it he was hanging out at about 90%, so through the entire qualifying, he just kept backing off his pace and making sure he kept advancing to get to the finals. In the finals, he laid it all on the line, which wasn't his fastest 100 meters either, even though it was an ultra-fast track. So let's backtrack a bit and let's talk about this individual. First, he's 6'5", 6'6" tall, the most unlikely build for an actual sprinter that are normally short, powerful, strong athletes. He was actually a cricket player from a really, really small, impoverished town in Jamaica. And one day decided to go for a sprint because his coach asked him to, fell in absolute love with it, and continued to do that. And through that, he really did what he loved most, even though he was told by so many around him he would never amount to the greatest sprinter of all, never mind the fastest human being that's ever ran. So he kept following his heart, and even though on that journey he's had challenges, he's had obstacles, his family has played such a key role in really keeping him grounded, keeping him humble, and really focused on what's important in life. And what is important in life? It's important to really do the things that you love to do consistently and the best that you can show up as. Now, even though he's had injuries, I want to talk about this word injury because it's something that I'm actually working with myself right now, so it sits close at home with me. Whenever we have things that happen in our life that allude to a problem, an ache, or a pain, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally, it's preventing you from showing up in your life and being your absolute best, the word injury actually means the jury is in. So it requires an immense amount of introspection, an immense amount of self-reflection to really see what it is going on. And doing what I do and working with so many people who've experienced these things, I also know that the ego plays a massive role in really allowing these injuries to come full circle and allow us to heal and move beyond them to be our absolute best. Normally, when we're stepping out of our power place and we're disconnected on some level from our heart, that's when injuries usually step in, and it's the universe's way of actually trying to get us back on track because we've slightly derailed. And so myself and people like Usain, and studying his history and the people he surrounds around him, there's an immense amount of introspection, seeing who you're being. Obviously, there's a physical component in working with doctors and trainers and all that, and that's certainly important because there is a physical thing going on, but there's also a mental, emotional, and a spiritual undertone that's actually expressing physically. And if we don't address that part, we're missing the boat on the root cause of what's actually occurring. And so when you look at the history, the fastest man alive, and see the times he's been able to do, and some of the injuries and some of the things he's plagued, and some of the things that I've studied about him, it's crystal clear that the humbleness, the connectedness, and the faith that his parents have been deeply instilled in him. And I can see from his interviews that he espouses so many of those values of introspection and really looking at every aspect of his life so he can be his absolute best. And that's what I'm inviting you to do. Whether you have something going on in your life, you feel derailed, you feel uncentered, you feel like you have an injury, an ache, or pain, it's not about getting that magic bullet, that magic pill, or thinking someone else is going to do it for you. Others can be around to support you, others can be around to move you in that right direction, but ultimately, the ball is in your court. The ball's in your court to do the inner work, to see what's going on, where you've derailed, where your ego's showing up, and you're not stepping into your authentic power so you can show up and have your best performances too. Thanks so much for listening. I have so much gratitude. I wore my Superman shirt because it's a super day to see what I experienced yesterday. Have a wonderful week, and we'll chat soon.